Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lifestyle Yoga with Loretta. So this morning we're going to do that using blocks to release the fascia. We're going to focus mostly on the quadriceps, hip flexors, but I'm going to show you a little shoulder release by laying on the blocks. Feels super good. So how are we doing today? Let's take a moment here in Hero's Pose. We're seated on our heels if that's an option for you. Or we can start by opening up the feet, taking a block back. Wherever we're at today, we might sit it up a little bit higher and have a seat. So again, on the seat bones, we'll walk those ankles right in. Then we'll just take a few breaths here and notice how we're feeling. Are our hips balanced on the same places on the blocks? Do we feel the seat bones down into the block the same? Shoulders are back. Let's go ahead and zip up that heart center, draw the chin towards the throat and lengthen up through the crown of the head. And we'll just start with a couple deep breaths in, expanding the belly, exhaling fully. Noticing what we're aware of today. How does our body feel? How is our subtle body, the energy? We're coming out of Christmas. All that chaos, stress is gone. Hopefully everybody had an amazing time celebrating the birth of Jesus. Deep breath in. Keeping in mind the reason for the season. It's not about spending extravagant amount of time, money with somebody. It's more about the time you spent. A great opportunity to cook dinner with my sister for her daughter and her granddaughters. It was really fun. We had a good time. Laughed a lot, created some memories, exhaling, lifting the pelvic floor in and up, noticing the balance on the seat bones. Again, what we're aware of in our body, our subtle body, our energy, and what we're aware of in our environment. Are we ready to clear things out, to open up new spaces, to become more centered, balanced as we prepare to move into the new year with light, love, and abundance? And so we might notice our lower back in that sacral area as it comes down. How are we feeling? We become aware and we begin to listen to the body. We can then take the responsibility that we need in order to correct any imbalances, dis-ease in the body. When we bring the body back to balance, the mind back to balance, the subtle body back to balance, we come into a state of ease, of grace and flow. Again, lifting up nice and tall, zip the heart center up. Let's take one more deep breath here. So we can feel the quadriceps beginning to open, the knees are bent. If this is really hard for you, you might even have a pillow underneath or a bolster. It's really nice, like a 6-inch rise underneath the hips. Soften the knees. Good. So if we feel like that we can get a little bit deeper into this pose, let's go ahead and take that block out and we'll bring the hips down. So those heels now are hugging into the hip bones. Again, noticing the knees. We're always protecting the knees, opening up the quadriceps. Very nice. And we'll stay here for just 2 more breaths. Hugging those heels into the hips. In from the side and bring it up. And we're going to go back and take that block under. This time I'm just going to sneak it back. I'm going to move position, stay right where you're at so you can see this a little bit better. So again, I have my knees open, hip width apart. I'm putting the block in and having a seat. Walk those feet in. So again, those knees are about hip width apart. Roll the shoulders back, zip up through the heart, and we'll bring the hands back. So the thumbs face forward. We're on our fists, lifting, So this might be where you're at today. Draw the chin towards the throat, and we might move into some pelvic tilts here. Posterior, anterior. If it's an option for you, let's go ahead and lift the hips and move into that posterior tilt. So we're trying to pull up and under. So it's up and under. Lifting that tailbone towards the sky, and we're going to hold it here. Feels pretty good. Pressing up and out of the fists, lifting the armpits, opening the heart center, and tucking that tailbone under towards the sky. Posterior tilt. Breathing. Squeeze that block between the feet. We have a lot going on here. Opening up the quadriceps, the hip flexors, breathing. Feels so good. A couple more deep breaths here. Lifting, opening the heart center. And noticing what we're aware of in this pose. And gently coming down. Good, let's release. Walk the hands forward, tuck the toes under, and press up. Step the feet back for downward facing dog. Lifting the armpits, hollowing up the belly, soften the knees, and take those seat bones back. Let the head be heavy. Shake it, yes. Lifting the armpits. We'll take those heels towards the floor in knee extension, opening up the hamstrings. Beautiful. Breathing, hollowing up the belly. Breathing into the low back. Couple more breaths right here. Feels good. Stretch those legs out. And gently coming down. So we'll sit back with the toes turned under. And let's just stretch those feet. Bring the knees together. We're going to move on to the next block pose. And opening the pelvis, creating space in the anterior spine. So let's go ahead and find our way down. So keep in mind that the block, we can use at 3 different levels. We can lay it flat, up, or very high. Today we're going to go right here. So we'll bring it down. Lift and bring that right under the pelvis. So we're on the sacrum. We're right under the superior aspect of the iliac. Right at the, you feel your low back, and you can feel the bone from the hip and around. So we're right under that, the iliac spine. Good. And we'll go ahead and extend the left leg out, keep that right knee bent. And we're going to take the left toes towards the sky and just hold this pose. Let's keep that right knee facing the ceiling. Deep breaths into the belly. Opening, exhaling. Contracting, squeeze. We have a tiny waist here. Blow it all the way out. Deep breath in. And we could stay here for, a couple minutes. Feels good. It might be very painful. We might bring that heel in and out just to get some dynamic movement in there. And take it all the way out for a couple breaths. I love this because it brings in more energy, vibration into that sacral area. So if you've been having pain down your legs, you might be doing this at a lower level. You might be doing this with no block at all. It just depends on your pain tolerance, your ability to open, to be present, to be aware. And we'll bring it in. And let's go ahead and switch sides. We'll extend that right leg toes to the sky. Notice how this feels in the hip flexors as we inhale. Breathe into the belly, lift it up. Exhale, tiny waist. Lift from the pelvic floor in and up. We might hold that exhalation. Totally feel this right in the hip flexor. Deep breaths. Again, keep that left knee in, pointed towards the ceiling. So we have some activation here in the pelvis, inner thighs. We might take that heel in and out. And it shouldn't feel like you're going to roll off one side of the block or the other. Nice and easy. It's a nice gentle release. And hold the extension one more time. Deep breaths into the belly. Noticing where we need correction. Noticing where we might have dis-ease. What brings us back into that state of ease, flow, grace. And gently coming back in. And we'll go ahead and lift, bring those elbows down. This is a little bit easier to lift the hips this way when we use the triceps. Press in, lift the chest, lift the hips, and gently come down. And we'll draw both knees into the chest and hug in, noticing the low back. Try to squeeze those inner thighs together, bring the knees together. And we might go ahead and lift the feet and open for happy baby, drawing down through the shoulders, bringing the head down. So a lot of times in my massage practice, I notice that people, their pubic symphysis goes into a state of being sheared, so it goes off balance slightly. So I'm going to show you an easy way to get that back in. You might hear a loud popping sound. That's actually kind of good. So we'll bring the feet in and feet to the floor. We're going to take our block, put it between the legs, just above the knees, head down, and squeeze in. And you'll know you'll get it if you hear a little pop, piece of cake. Let's go ahead and come down and take the knees to the side and gently roll up. So if we're healing our body today, remember the best thing that we can do is come back to our mat. Let's take a little lateral flexion here. Both feet are over to the side. We're going to reach up, roll the shoulder back, and reach over. Nice deep breaths. Gently coming down. Big part of yoga is the discipline that we practice in coming to our mat each day, even if we're in pain. We might come here just to meditate. We might come here for some sound therapy. We might just lay on our mat, flat on our back, roll the shoulder back, and reach over. Again, noticing any areas of dis-ease. Everything can come back into balance. Just have to get ourselves back into a position with no pain. Gently coming up. So this time we're going to come down on our mats on our belly. And we're going to have our blocks on our hip flexors. I'm going to do this all the way down. So we want just a little bit of space there for our pubic symphysis to sit down through. So we just want to cause a little bit of tension in here. We're going to lay right on there. So if you have hip flexors that have been bothering you, I like to do this right at the top of the thighs, and we just come right down. I'll do this from the side too. I might go back a little deeper on my thighs this time. We want to get it right into the corner. I'm going to turn the blocks in at an angle. Oh, that feels good. So we have the elbows underneath the shoulders. We're lifting up and out, drawing the chin towards the throat, lengthening through the crown. We can add that little traction with the elbows. Nice and easy. Deep breaths. And again, these poses, if they feel really good, stay there for up to 4 minutes. Just let the body melt into it. The body's calling out for release, relief, and renewal. Nice deep breaths. We could add some motion here by lifting the heels in and out. We can lift up and out. Up and out. And again, just experiment around with your body. It knows what it wants. We just have to connect the brain back to it. And we'll bring the knees down and take it all the way back for child's pose. And we'll start working on the shoulders. Let's take those blocks forward in child's pose. Bring the hands on, and we'll bring the third eye down. Hollowing up the belly, seating the hips back. Opening up the shoulders. So lifting the forearms, hands around the blocks, lifting the armpits, and bringing that third eye down. Deep breaths. Hollowing up the belly, seating the hips a little deeper. Breathing up into the shoulders. Oh, this feels so good. And gently releasing. Shifting the weight forward. I have wide shoulders, so I'm going to take these blocks out just a little bit to where the chest is going to come down through. The shoulders on, arms back, third eye down. So this is super, super good if you have forward shoulder roll. You can play around here with the hands, whatever feels better. Bring the chest down between the blocks. If you work at a computer all day, this is just a nice way to come home, finish the day. We can take the head side to side as well. We'll get a little bit deeper into the shoulders. Move the hands, what feels good. Bring the head to the other side. Breathing into the belly. So this is a good opportunity to breathe into the belly and really feel the body rise. And as we exhale, we'll come down and lift the belly away from the mat. Take a short pause. These are beautiful abdominal exercises. Opening, opening, exhaling, lifting up and away. And again, I could spend 10 minutes here. But we'll turn the toes under, set the blocks out to the side, hands down, elbows in, press up and back to downward facing dog. Lifting the armpits, pressing out of the wrists. Bend the knees, taking the thigh bones back, lifting the seat bones, knee extension, pressing the heels towards the floor for a few deep breaths. Hollowing up the belly as we exhale, exhaling fully. Lifting the armpits, pressing back through the hands. Creating space. Coming up on the toes, bringing the heels down. And gently coming down. So the last one we're going to work through, again from that hero's pose, is if we have like forward head syndrome, or I can almost not do it, but this, and looking down from doing the texting and the gaming, So we have to lift the heart and bring the head back. So we're going to do that with a block, and you want to do this exercise just like you would if you were in the weight room and you were doing like 3 sets of 15 or whatever you're doing. So we want to engage the neck. We're not trying to push that block back to the wall. We're engaging and drawing the chin towards the throat. So bring that block up, put it behind the head, tuck the elbows towards each other, engage the block, drop the chin, lift the chest. Deep breaths. For some people, this will be extremely difficult. Keep hugging those elbows towards each other. Begin to lift the elbows towards the sky. Engage the block with the head. Draw the chin towards the throat. To the count of 15. And release. And we'll take the head side to side. Shoulder, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. I fell asleep on the couch last night, so I don't have a good range of motion on the right. I need to get down and see Tom and get the bones aligned. And back to the center. And we'll do it one more time. Up, hug the elbows, lift the heart. Draw the chin to the throat, engage the block, pressing back. At the count of 15. When we get that forward head syndrome and the chest drops, that really affects our breath. We begin to breathe more shallow. We can't open up. And after a while, the back becomes taut in the lumbar spine because we're not accentuating or moving into that natural curve in the low back. Lift the elbows, pressing back, and gently release. And we definitely, when we get the spine lining up and then it goes permanent that way instead of with that natural curve. So we have that natural curve in the low back. That's my booty right there. So again, do those exercises every day to open up the heart, to keep the head in alignment. Remember, when the spine is in that perfect alignment, we move up through the chakras in a beautiful way, creating balance, grace, and ease. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Let's finish with a deep breath up. Bring the hands to the heart. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Peace. Take care. Locking it in today. Have a great day, you guys. See you soon.